Was Gucci gangsters? We back in the Jake Overton school zone here. About to teach you about some Slimeflux / wetwood. It's not a very serious thing, but it's a common concern of homeowners. Essentially, bacteria that naturally occurs will hop up in a young tree through usually like a wound or something, and it just gets in there and holds moisture. That's about it. And just the little enzymes and little bacteria and fungi, they get up in the tree, they get up in the heartwood, the sapwood, and they just start drawing in moisture. Drawing it in all the time. Just won't let it go either. Just won't let it go. Just hold it there the whole time. And it even draws up moisture from other parts of the tree. You know, you'll see a chunk of wetwood hanging out up in the tree, and then, you know, the parts right next to it are completely dry. So it's just these little localized spots of these bacteria up in the tree. And you wouldn't ever know that you got it going on unless maybe you cut the tree and saw some discoloration. Maybe you saw some red, pink, brown, black, yellow, green wood up in the tree. On the wood part, you know. But you wouldn't know it until it kind of explodes out. Yeah, it does that. It'll basically saturate the tree. It's bacteria drawing up all this moisture, not letting it go. It'll saturate the pores of the wood and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually it's just too much. It has to go somewhere. So it goes right out the side of the tree. And it starts running down. And the tree will just look all nasty, covered with like slime and wetness. But it doesn't really affect the tree in any kind of bad way. The lumber is still good. It might be less valuable because it takes more time to dry out. But the lumber is good. In fact, the lumber actually becomes rot and decay resistant because of this stuff. So it's not even that bad. But you can find it in the elm, a maple, a oak, sycamore, sweet gum, willow, hemlock, or fir tree. It's statewide. Usually happens in the spring or the summer. Yeah, like I said, ain't nothing really bad about it. Sometimes it can make your little leaf kind of draw up. You know, make it wilt, or maybe discolored, or maybe even die back. But it's not too big of a deal. But yeah. So it breaks through the bark eventually after enough moisture is there and saturated enough. It'll break through the bark and ooze out. And it's really only a concern of like homeowners, I'm guessing, with pretty trees or pretty yards, because they don't want it looking ugly. And there ain't no real control for it. And you can wash the tree, give your tree a bath, wash it off. It smells bad because, yeah, while that moisture's sitting in there, it kind of ferments, and it's got these little microorganismal processes going on, so it'll ferment and give it a sour smell. And there's a completely unrelated type of wetwood called an alcoholic Slimeflux. Slimeflux is what I said, flux. So what it can do is essentially the same thing, but there's just so much bacteria and funguses all sitting up in that tree fermenting that it actually creates a little bit of alcohol. So if you're under 21, go lick a tree. You know, get your little action. I think that about covers it for it. Yeah. That about covers it for it. So, yeah, that's just Slimeflux. It's just a big wet spot in the tree. And it's just like a one little spot where this little bacteria is at. It ain't the whole thing. But thanks for coming here to learn.